Spicy, savory, addictively delicious, and all in under 15 minutes. Oh yeah, this countertop, it's got a good slide to it. Oh, how I have missed you. If you've been wondering where I've been, the answer is moving and building this kitchen. I am so excited for this space and to be bringing you more recipes. The studio isn't quite finished yet. I still have like things that need to be installed and I need to figure out what to put on these top shelves. I was gonna put plates, but I'm short and I can't reach it without a ladder. So decoration it is. Please leave any short friendly suggestions down below. Now for the inaugural video in this kitchen, what better than one of my favorite recipes, one with over 50 million views, chili garlic noodles. Now we'll start by tearing apart a small family of garlic. For this recipe, we're making about 2 servings, so for that, we're gonna use about 6 cloves of garlic. Now you can grate these cloves of garlic, but I find that chopping them up is gonna give you a better texture than if you were to just kind of like macerate it into a paste. So I like to start by just cutting off the nubbins, the little butt roots, because those are a little bit gross. Then we can give them all an individual smash. Strip back all the skin. Can you hear that? There's a plane overhead. Not something I had necessarily looked into or thought about when it comes to filming. Then we'll just bunch up all of our crushed garlic and we'll just rock our knife through it 4 to 5 times just to get it to a nice, roughly chopped consistency. If you like bigger pieces of garlic, you're welcome to leave it bigger. If you like it smaller and you want to run it through a thing, you know, the garlic grinder thing, you're more than welcome to, but I think that roughly chopping it is the way to go for this recipe. Plus, it leaves you with less dishes, so also a pro. Now for our ginger, we're gonna go ahead and just peel off the bottom, call it like 3/4 of an inch of a knob of ginger, or a leg, or a root, or a stem. We only need about 1/2 an inch of the ginger, but it makes it a lot easier to peel a little more than to peel a little less. Now, once that ginger is trimmed up, we're gonna go ahead and cut off the butt. That part that's been exposed to the air is kind of dried out. And then from here, this is very important. We're going to take our ginger. I just realized my camera fell. Hold please. I've returned. Now this part is important. You're going to take your ginger and we're going to cut it into very thin slices. You wanna make sure we're cutting against the grain of our ginger. So we're cutting them into little discs instead of along the grain into a long plank of ginger. Now the beauty of cutting our ginger this way is now we have these little tiny discs and then we can just go ahead and take our knife, place it on top, and smash it. This will give us a nice minced ginger with a minimal amount of work. And then all you have to do is just repeat that with the rest of your discs. Moving right along. And while I am doing this with a knife, I would highly recommend you do this with something like a bench scraper because there's no sharp edge versus this has a sharp edge. So if you happen to hit and drag your hand, you could slice your skin off, which would suck and totally ruin your night. And if you don't have a bench scraper, you could also just use a pot. Like just take a pot and just go pop, you know, just hit it with a pop. It works just fine. Now we'll just give this a few passes to make sure all those fibers are truly broken up. And there we go. Now for our green onions, we're gonna want about 4 stalks. We're just going to cut off the tips on a bias so we get a nice lengthy green onion cut. And then here we're just going to very thinly cut nice little slices. I really have missed you. It's been lonely without you. I mean, I've got my wife and my soon-to-be baby, but still it's just not the same without you. Now, once we have all those cut up, we are just going to go ahead and separate these by the greens of our green onions and the whites of our green onions, because we're gonna end up cooking down the white parts and then garnishing with these lovely green parts. And finally, our last bit of prep is a singular Persian cucumber. Now, if you don't have a Persian cucumber, totally fine. You can also just use a regular cucumber. But Persian cucumbers are cute and smaller and cute things taste better. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing that we did like our green onions, and we're gonna cut these on a bias to give us nice oblong discs or frisbees, but they wouldn't be retailed frisbees because they're shaped weird. And then from here, once we have our deformed frisbees, we're just gonna go ahead and cut them lengthwise into matchsticks. Now for our sauce. First bowl flip in the new kitchen was pretty crispy. Not gonna lie, that was really solid. 2 tablespoons of Chinese light soy sauce, a tablespoon of Chinese dark soy sauce, a tablespoon of black vinegar, a tablespoon of sugar, or your preferred 0-calorie sweetener. I like the monk fruit stuff, but whatever you enjoy. Depending on your salt preference, you may want to add in a tiny pinch of salt. If you don't like a lot of salt and you think a lot of things are extra salty, then you may want to leave it out because there is salt in our soy sauce, but personal preference. taste and adjust as you go. You can always add more later. A tablespoon of sesame seeds. You can definitely wait and add those in at the end, but I like to just cook them down with everything because the idea is to do this quickly and efficiently, and if I can do it all at once, then why not? And the last thing you're gonna be adding is your chili flakes, which there are tons of options for. You can do something like a Korean chili flake, a gochugaru. You can do like a traditional, like American style chili flake, which I don't actually know if it's American style, but you know, like the common chili flakes people have. The one thing with something as thick as this and as coarse as this is that it doesn't spread out as evenly, and you're gonna get more chili flakes than like a ground up chili powder that kind of blends into the sauce, but it's all personal preference. You can also just take these and blend them if you want to. That works as well. And when picking your chili flakes, you can also decide what kind of spicy and what level of spicy you want. If you want something that is like more of a numbing, like a really intense Chinese spice, like the Szechuan, go for it. I love it, but I gotta share with my wife. She's probably not gonna like that being 9 months pregnant. So for me, I'm gonna go with 3 tablespoons of these Korean style chili flakes, which is definitely more coarse than a powder, but still has a little bit of bite to it. So it's not just blending entirely and kind of hiding away. And then we can just give this all a nice whisk together, and you should end up with a very nice chili paste. Now for one of my favorite parts about this new kitchen is I actually have a stove that I can film on. This is nice. This is nice. As much as I absolutely love my single induction burner, the issue with it is it's just a single induction burner. So now I can cook multiple things at the same time. I feel unstoppable. Let's boil some water. Actually, we're just filling water right now, and then we'll boil it, but you get the gist. Placing that on the stove. Now we're just gonna get this going so that way once our meat and our sauce is done, we're ready to just move over our noodles. Efficiency. Now for our main cooking pan of choice today, we're going with a 12-inch stainless steel pan. You can go nonstick or cast iron or carbon steel if you want, whatever your preference is, but I like to use stainless steel. But I would recommend staying in that 12-inch space. If you go down to a 10-inch, it's doable, but it just gets really kind of crammed and tight, and then things start to spill. Makes a bigger mess. Now, once our pan is adequately heated on medium-high heat, we're just gonna go ahead and add in a couple tablespoons of neutral oil, making sure we've got a nice even coat all around our pan. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and add in about a pound of 80/20 ground pork. Now, I wouldn't recommend going any leaner than 80/20, because once you get to that really lean stuff, it's just gonna dry out and get kind of crumbly. But once it's in your pan, we're gonna go ahead and press it down very carefully using a spoon, getting a nice even coverage so we can get as much surface area as possible with this pork. And then we'll just let this sit for about 2 to 3 minutes until that crust on the bottom forms. Then we can hit it with a light sprinkle of salt. Where's my white pepper? A sprinkle of white pepper, or black pepper if that's all you have. And we're just gonna let this sit for about 2 to 3 minutes to really build up a crust on the bottom. And now that our crust has started to form, this should pop up pretty easily. And we can go ahead and just give this all a nice chop. I'll be honest, my crust, not looking great. Not looking so great at all. Still learning this stove, so give me time, give me patience. I'm trying my best. Now, after another couple minutes, your pork should be just about done, and your crust should look a lot better than mine. I didn't really have a great Maillard reaction on that, but that's okay. Still gonna be delicious. We're gonna go ahead and add in the whites from our green onions, the ginger, and of course, our garlic. Now, the important thing here is that we just keep this moving because we don't want any of that garlic to burn. We do wanna start to get it all fragrant and delicious, but we do wanna cook it down enough to get rid of that raw garlic taste and get really that more fragrant and cooked down garlic. Now, after another couple minutes and it starts to smell incredibly delicious, we're gonna go ahead and add in our sauce. Now, it's gonna look pretty thin and not really much like a sauce, but give it time because it's going to loosen up when we add in our pasta water. Now, after about a minute with that sauce, that meat is nicely coated, we're gonna go ahead and kill our heat, which is almost perfect timing because our water is finally starting to boil. Now for our noodles, I'm gonna be using some fresh knife cut noodles, about 2 portions or 400 grams worth. But if you have top ramen noodles, use top ramen noodles. If you have spaghetti, I wouldn't use spaghetti, but if that's what you have, like that's what you have, like make it work. There should be absolutely zero shame when cooking for yourself. Now my noodles were fresh, so they only took a couple of minutes to cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move these over. And you don't necessarily wanna strain these out. I am kinda letting them drip off a bit, but I do want some of that water. It's gonna help to liquefy our sauce a little bit better. Listen, first day in the new kitchen, it's a little bit different. I'm still working on things. It's not perfect, but it's me. And I hope that that's enough. Now, once all of our noodles are out, we're gonna go ahead and just start to kind of mix and fold them all together. And we are gonna go ahead and add in about a ladle full or about half a cup of pasta water into our pasta. Noodles. I keep calling it pasta water. I don't know what else to call it. Just noodle water? Noodle water feels weird. But either way, once you get that starchy water into your pan with not pasta. We're just gonna go ahead and mix it all up. And like I said before, go with the bigger pan because obviously we need the bigger pan. Arguably, if there was like a 16-inch pan, I would have been happy with that. Gonna add a little more pasta water just to loosen it up a little more. Not pasta. And now that our sauce has nicely coated our noodles, we can go ahead and put it all together. Our noodles, a good amount of that pork, green onions, and topped with those crisp cucumbers. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you learned something. Here's some videos I think you'll like to watch next. Here's one of my favorite photos from our maternity shoot, and I will see you next week.